Welcome to the Fourth and Last podcast, where fantasy football is the punchline and every play is a comedy of errors. I'm Keith Ippolito, and I'm alongside my partner in crime, Nick Lamb. We're going to guide you through the wacky world of our fantasy leagues, the Champions and the Ips League. Get into a little bit of the chaos of week run. There was some questionable choices on a little bit of both leagues. We'll recap a little bit of the draft from both of our leagues. And, this is basically, if you're looking for a strategy breakdown, this is the wrong podcast for you. It's pretty much just going to be, we got serious money on the line, Nick. How you doing, brother?
I'm good, man. I'm good. I'm excited to do this. I'm excited to talk to our good buddies and make fun of them and make fun of ourselves and have a good time. So
yeah, exactly. That's all this about. I mean, I'll probably be sure to go extra hard on our buddy Giovanni, just because. All right, Nick. So you want to start off with your league? I'm just gonna read out the Yahoo draft grades real quick, and then we can kind of spend a second or two on each team. Hey, Queef Griswold. I mean, me and Patrick coming in hot, man. A+. I love it. Mr. Chop's got an A+. Nick's Purple Helmet, A-. Lombardi, 25-year-old cheerleader. He's got a B. B. Snide's got a B-. Hot Chub Time Machine, B-. I don't know. That feels like an F. That's Giovanni's team. Give Zeke the Damn Rock got a Z. Dog for Life, T+. That's Travis's team. Evolution D, D+. Too Legit to Quit, D. And Love ATL Cousins, D. I have something that caught me off which we can get to in a little bit, is there's been some serious money thrown around by Love ATL Cousins on that waiver wire too, right, Nick?
Well, yeah, I hate to make up for that Cousins pick in like the fourth round, I think, and a couple other weird picks. I'm excited though. We get barbecue next year, or I think we're actually getting tacos, so it's totally
actually, man, I gotta be honest, man. That spread that Lorenzo brought this year, that was legit, man. Hey, man, if Lorenzo wants to keep losing this league, I'm down with that barbecue, man.
Absolutely.
All right. So, I'm gonna let you analyze me and Patrick's team, because I'm gonna be a little bit biased. I mean,
dude, you guys had a good draft. I don't think I gave you the highest draft the day that I saw it, but as it all unfolds and stuff like that, the Amon-Ra, the Waddle. I know Waddle got injured.
Yeah.
Derrick Henry, Josh Jacobs is supposed to be a stud, but now they're going to be stacking the box against him now that Jordan Love's out. Trey McBride's a stud. Amari Cooper, you expected a lot more from him, but I think that, Deshaun has no idea what he was doing. There's so much speculation of like when Deshaun was with Houston, they ran his old college playbook, and now he's running an advanced pro playbook and doesn't know how to play football. His whole team's kind of falling apart.
Do you think it's too late or to say that could be one of the worst NFL contracts ever? I mean,
yeah, and I hope that Gio just chokes on it the entire time too.
Before we signed on this podcast, he actually texted me about trading for someone, Jerry Jeudy, for Tony Pollard, and I was like, Deshaun Watson, ? And he said he had insider information that Mr. Crablegs is going to be starting in week 3.
I don't know about all that. That's a lot of money to sit on the bench.
With that I think I read he's got like a $75 million dead cap head, dude.
That's $200 million guaranteed. You're gonna screw up something. So it's unbelievable.
Absolutely.
Your team was awesome. Of course, my team. Also that A+. I'm excited about where I got Brandon Ayuk. Definitely didn't translate week 1. He looked like shit, and yet it goes back to you watch some listen to some podcasts. They're just like he just looked rough out there, and I think that he even went on record to say like I just fell off. Wasn't playing up to my level on YouTube.
Yeah, I mean, probably he literally got paid like essentially almost before kickoff, or I have to wonder that maybe was he up to the playbook, or I mean, not that he doesn't know it or whatever, but he wasn't.
You would hope so, being a pro.
Yeah. I just wonder if he, that week, the first week, there's always that cobwebs for everyone. We were at the Falcons game, and I think that was fairly apparent too. I mean, God Almighty.
Yeah, not great, not great.
Yeah, yeah.
And then you got people like Rashee Rice that is going to just get pepper targets, and I got really lucky getting him kind of late in that draft, which was pretty awesome. And I think a lot of people are scared about that suspension, but I don't think it's going to happen. So, moving forward, I think we're okay for this whole year. So we'll see how it goes.
Yeah, I would think so, man. I mean, and I look at your team. I mean, I think I think you should have a solid. You got two pretty solid quarterbacks. I definitely like your wide receivers, and yeah, I mean, and Breece Hall too. I mean, I know the Jets didn't win or whatever, win on Monday Night Football, but I mean, I actually almost thought they were going to win that game, especially that first drive they had in that first quarter. But
first drive looked amazing, and after that, it just looked like they couldn't figure it out.
Yeah.
I mean, even with Breece Hall, he couldn't figure out how to get rolling. He just wasn't getting any yards. Couple drop passes too, which is kind of unlike him. So we'll see.
Yeah.
Then you got my cousin over here, Mr. Purple Helmets, looking with a pretty solid team other than Drake London. I've got Drake London in your league. Definitely not the week we were hoping for from him, but hopefully we see some more stuff. And same thing with Mark Andrews. I mean, if he's out and Isaiah Likely continues to get in there, it's going to be rough. It's going to be rough sledding for Nick.
Yeah, I know we'll probably get to that. I'm pretty sure. I don't think Isaiah Likely was on many people's radar, at least not on mine.
They were always talking about him, and he was such a great asset for last year, more in blocking than it was on pass catching. But you're starting to see his hands come into play, and he looks good.
Yeah,
going down to Chris with the Lombardis and 25-year-old cheerleader, fucking crazy motherfucker.
I know.
The biggest craziness of that is that Marvin Harrison pick. You got to pick him in the second to third round, and get one catch. That's brutal.
Yeah.
And then I think he benched Jamar Chase because he wasn't sure what was going to happen, and he ended up starting. But we'll see where that goes.
Yeah, absolutely, man. And then next up we got B Snide. That's let's check out this roster. Old Justin Jefferson. I mean, that's a solid.
Nico looked unbelievable, and I think Nico
that Puka number 2 pick. He's probably pulling out some hair on that one now.
Yeah, Puka's done for the next 4 weeks, and that's not great for anybody. And who knows when he comes back, how it's going to come. But Cooper Kupp has established himself as being that dominant force on that team, so it is what it is, man. He's got people on his team that are pretty exciting, though. Josh Allen, Justin Jefferson and Nico Collins. That core right there is going to keep your team alive. What he can do. I know he spent some fab on I think Tank Bigsby, which is kind of a good pickup. We'll see what he does in Jacksonville. So
yeah, absolutely.
Brian, go fuck yourself. And we got Gio.
We got old Hot Chubb time machine.
Patrick Mahomes, you can't go wrong there.
Yeah.
Chris Olave had a dud of a game. I think that'll come back. I can't expect that to continue to happen.
Yeah.
Mike
obviously,
Evans,
the CMC. I mean, I don't know if he sounded like he might be out for a few weeks.
They're definitely saying he's out for week 2, so we'll see what happens going forward. But I mean, that's big red flags. They're saying he has tendonitis in his Achilles. That's I don't even know what that means. But
I don't either.
It's gonna be terrible.
Yeah.
Rest of his team kind of rough. I mean, running back room is terrible. Kenneth Walker's not practicing right now.
Obviously, why he wants to trade with me for Tony Pollard.
Hey, man, I gave him a good trade offer, so we'll see what he says.
He was hitting you up too.
Yeah. He was barking up every tree. I bet.
I'm sure he was.
All right, what about give Zeke the damn rock? We got Justin's team over here. Deebo Samuel looked unbelievable. They manufactured so many touches for him running. He's a running back 2 and the wide receiver 1 for that team. It's unbelievable. Jahmyr Gibbs and Kyron Williams. I went with that same stack in my Ippolito's league, your league.
Yeah.
And it's not really worked out so far. You saw Jahmyr Gibbs, played well, but Montgomery is the workhorse there, so that's kind of brilliant.
Yeah.
Kyron just didn't look explosive, didn't look great. Kyle Pitts saved his week with that one touchdown, but the fucking Falcons offense looks horrendous. So we'll see how that goes. Evan Ingram being on his I guess as his flex. Two tight ends in any kind of league is kind of brutal. So we'll see
yeah.
how that plays out.
Yeah.
What do we got after that? We got
next we got Evolution D+.
Now we got Dog for Life after that. I thought, yeah, right.
Oh, yeah. Dog for Life. Yeah,
our boy Travis.
Yeah.
Anthony Richardson's going to look amazing. Garrett Wilson, they're going to figure that out eventually.
Mm-hmm.
He didn't see a lot of targets in the second half, which was kind of surprising. I think he had 4 receptions in the beginning of the game, and then I think he ended with 6, which was kind of brutal.
Yeah.
Jonathan Taylor's going to be a stud. Alvin Kamara's still got some room. George Kittle looked amazing. Ramondre was the biggest surprise. I mean, he looked unbelievable. And then J.K. Dobbins, I think he's making his comeback, and I hope that he stays healthy. On his bench is kind of surprising too. Ladd McConkey got a touchdown.
Yeah.
Zach Charbonnet got a touchdown. Donovan Mitchell looks good, so he's got some depth. So I think he's probably okay for the season.
Yeah.
We got Evolution after that.
His first round pick, he went Tyreek Hill.
That's a stud pick. I mean, he went to jail almost, but didn't. kind of Scotty Schefflered his ass.
Hey, don't knock on my window like that, bro.
Dude, I will tell you what, man. His team though looks pretty solid. I mean, if Jaden Daniels can keep doing what he's doing with those touchdowns, Tyreek Hill's gonna get one to the yard. I mean, he's gonna have a long touchdown every game. Cooper Kupp looks like a machine. He had like 14 targets or 16 targets, some crazy shit like that.
Yeah.
Montgomery literally carried Detroit on his back for the win. Sam Laporte is a monster.
Mm-hmm.
Jameson Williams is the surprise of this whole thing, right? Like Jameson Williams coming, he had more targets than Amon-Ra St. Brown, more yardage, more he had a touchdown. I mean, he looked great.
I mean, that's not concerning, but I mean, that was obviously, but Patrick's and I's, first round pick. I'm on.
Yeah, we'll see what happens. I mean, Jameson Williams just looked good, and you that's what you wanted to see from like 2 years ago when he got drafted, and everyone was super excited about him. Then that suspension happened, and weren't sure what was going to happen, but he looks good, man. Looks good.
Yeah.
Scary Terry did absolutely nothing. It was brutal the entire game. I watched that whole game. Jalen Wright might see some play time in his bench with Mostert going down. So we'll see. And what's after that here?
Next up, we have Garrick's Gridiron.
Yeah. It's kind of crazy when you think about it. Top scoring team of the week. His team went fucking bonkers. And on the backs of Saquon and ETN, like the old statesmen, right? But they looked unbelievable. Brock Bowers had a great game. Joe Mixon had a great game.
Yep.
Calvin Ridley, not so much. But he's got some depth.
He's got some talent, absolutely. So if
Tua can figure this out, he didn't have a great week 1, but his team looks pretty scary.
Yeah, I mean, when you have those type of that type of dynamic players around here, I mean, you would think he's going to put up some numbers.
Yeah, absolutely. And then we got our good friend, Mr. Love ATL Cousins like the Brown, holding up the rear here, and his team it's tough. AJ Brown didn't look great. Devontae Smith was taking a lot of targets.
I think that round 3 Malik Neighbors pick is
it is. All of it's not looking good for him. I'm kind of scared for him. So we'll see how that goes. Jordan Love being out now for who knows how long. He does have Isaiah Likely on his bench right now. We'll see what he does with that, but he's got some work to do, and he also spent a shit ton of money on Fab this week. So hopefully it pays off.
Yeah, he blew his nut on this week. Yeah. Hope it works out for him.
Matchup wise, week 1 didn't go as expected when it came to like draft grades. I mean, you got a loss this week, which was good.
I was, like I said, I was feeling pretty confident going into Sunday. I had some, was feeling pretty good, and then just kind of, fantasy, just kind of give it, and then it takes it away from me.
I think Brian said it in the group chat best. He's like, "Why do we do this to ourselves?" And that's probably the right thing to say.
Basically, it's a love-hate relationship. I text Patrick as we were leaving the Falcons game. I was like, I hate football and I hate the Giants so much right now.
Danny Dimes is not Danny Dimes, I will tell you.
He's
Denny Pennies.
Denny. What if there's a half a penny? We'll give him that.
How about you, man? Let's go over your league and see.
Yeah. So we'll kick it off with old Girth Brooks. He's got an A+. I mean, let's run. We don't have to spend a whole bunch of time on this, but yeah, I mean, Jamar Chase coming right out the bat. Old Garrett Wilson, Rashad White. Josh Allen, I know he picked up an injury earlier this week. We'll see what happens with that. It sounded like it wasn't his throwing arm, so we'll see what happens with that. The Mark Andrews, I mean, I would imagine he's going to turn it around. I mean, I have him in your league, and I was disappointed by that. I thought he would put up some decent numbers. Looks like he, the guy he wants to trade for with me, he has him on his bench, old Tony Pollard. And Hollywood Brown, J.K. Dobbin. I only Matt Stafford. All right, so I give that team. I like that. I mean, what do you think about that?
He does have a solid team on paper. I mean, if Chase, Garrett Wilson get it together. He's got Rashee Rice. If Mark Andrews, Ramondre Stevenson. I mean, it's a solid squad. So he's going to be set up pretty well this year.
Absolutely. And next up, Golden Taint, A+. Real quick, obviously the CMC round 1 pick, that's obviously going to hurt. Mike Evans, Puka, man, God almighty, that's, this is already, this is already shit.
That was the scare anyways, man. Right when he was designated with that injury right before the draft, and everyone drafted him high. I wasn't going to touch him. So
and
he's sitting rough with CMC and with Puka.
that's
and
hurt.
Jordan Love.
I was texting with him, and he was like, "I'm just trying not to finish last at this point."
Yeah, well, don't worry, my team might, so it's okay.
Oh God, I'm scrolling down. He's got Jordan Love too, man. He's got 3. Wow, man. Holy mackerel.
He picked up Baker off the waiver, which is a good pickup. It stacks with Mike Evans. That's going to be a great stack. They both look great. Jalen Warren's going to be good. Sam Laporta's great. Zay Flowers, as long as he keeps it out. I mean, his team's not terrible still.
No, definitely not. I mean, if he can, figure out some waiver wire stuff and hold on, through the CMC, because we all know once he comes back, he's just going to be a monster. Next up, we got Get Rich Die Trying. He's just a flat A. Let's see what we got here. We got old Tyreek, okay, ETN, some of the stalwarts, old Debo, Anthony Richardson. He looked solid. In that first week, Amari Cooper, I have him in another league. He was a dud in week 1.
His team on paper, like I said, Tyreek great, Debo great, ETN great, Anthony Richardson is going to be great. His arms suck. I mean, his arm strength is insane, but his accuracy is awful. But then, you're worried about your running back room there with just Swift as your only backup, and Jake Ferguson. I guess he's not injured. I don't know. I saw like 9,000 designation on sleeper. I'm not quite sure what's going on with him, but his bench is not great either. Not a lot of depth there. So we'll see how that goes. And he's still on 2 defenses, so good luck with that.
Yeah. All right. So next up, we got I Love Big TDs. First pick right out the bat. Old A.J. Brown, Derrick Henry. I drafted Derrick Henry in at least 2 leagues this year, so I like that. I feel like he's always, he's just going to pound the rock.
Jalen with that Jordan Mason pickup too, really. So, even when CMC does come back, I think Jordan Mason is still going to have a role, kind of like Elijah Mitchell did last year. He had some
I think he'll definitely have some side of role. I mean, watching the 49ers and watching him in that game against the Jets, it was really, really impressive. I mean, I guess you being a Falcons fan, I mean, it just kind of makes you want to, punch Kyle Shanahan in the face or whatever.
We had him for a year. It was great for a second.
It was great until it wasn't, right, Nick? All right. So Bad Mother Trucker is up next.
All right.
And he got a B+ B plus. He went right off the hall with Breece Hall. Okay. Marvin Harrison Jr. I don't know about that one. Travis Kelce. I mean, basically, you've got your tight end. You shouldn't have to worry about him. Kenneth Walker, C.J. Stroud. I do like him. I drafted him in 2 leagues this year. George Pickens, Calvin Ridley, Tajay Spears. You kind of look at, some of this little bench action. Justin Herbert, we'll see what happens with that. And then my team, Eat, Pray, Queef, I got a C minus, or C plus. I don't want to give my. So I'm on. Obviously that hurt first week. Old Saquon for me. I mean, as painful as it is for me to see him in an Eagles. I mean, God Almighty, did he have a game? James Cook, Jalen Waddle. That's. I love him, but injuries or whatever, even now you got David Njoku, who the hell knows what's going on with him now. Even on my bench now, Oda Zunze, he's injured. I mean, God Almighty, could be a long, could be a long season for me.
Yeah, no, I'm right there with you, buddy.
Yeah,
so, no, trust me.
All right, next up, we got Travis's team, old CD Lamb, who just got paid, and
got paid too. That stack looks good. You're gonna see winning weeks from that stack alone, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Joe Mixon, who had a solid first week. Alvin Kamara, Tank Dell, okay. Dak Prescott. Say,
I'm not mad about that team. I don't know how that got that draft grade, to be honest with you, because
honestly, I usually these
Mixon.
Draft grades, I don't know how they compute these or whatever.
Well, it's just ADP. So like if you're not drafting on the ADP of Yahoo, then you get a bad draft grade.
Yeah,
so,
basically.
Like, if you're taking like one-off picks or people they're way down the board, you're an idiot for taking that. Well,
yeah, exactly. So big TDs. Let's see. We got Patrick Mahomes with that one pick. Holy mackerel.
Yeah, our boy.
Oh boy. All right, Cooper Kupp. I honestly, man, I
save his team.
I kind of
gonna save his team.
Yeah. This is interesting. Diggs, Kittle, Zamir White, Brock Purdy, Zach Moss, Nick Chubb. Oh boy. I don't know, man. If this was the Ippolito.com, this might be an F for me. I'm just being honest.
Diggs had a great game. He had 2 touchdowns, but I don't think that's going to happen every game. I think that Taint Dell and both Nico Collins are going to take over that slot. So we'll see. Cooper Kupp's going to save his team. Patrick Mahomes is, all in all, not a terrible draft there, or not a terrible draft, but I wouldn't pick him in the first round, right? Kittle's going to be great. So we'll see. I mean, I don't know. He picked up Brock Purdy off the waivers, I think, which is kind of weird. And then I think he went to Tank Bigsby as well off waivers.
Yeah.
We'll see.
Yeah.
And then I think we're talking about my team next. Is that right?
Yeah, we got old. We got Eddie's team up next.
Yeah.
Eddie's a solid fantasy guy too. So it just makes me question these Yahoo grades that much more. I mean,
absolutely. Well, you got Lamar with his, Lamar's always gonna have upside. Devontae Smith looked phenomenal. You got Michael Pittman that hopefully they can figure that out in Indiana. Jonathan Taylor's going to look good. Najee, he looked okay. I think Falcons defense actually played pretty well, so I think that's why he wasn't,
when you give up 15 points all via field goals, I mean, to be honest, your offense should be you should be able to win the game, right?
It would help.
All right, let's get to old Buck Frady. Let's get to your team real quick. Jameer Gibbs.
Did we miss one? I don't know.
Oh, did we?
We had Chubby Chasers, then we had
Eddie's amazing team. Buck Frady, yeah, you're up, yeah. So we got old Jahmyr Gibbs right out in the first round, all right. Old Kyron Williams, okay. Yeah. Drake London, okay. Brandon Ayuk, he had a rough first week, but I think he'll figure it out. Evan Ingram, I think I'm just scarred from his time at the Giants. So we'll see what happens with him. Terry McLaurin, Christian Kirk, Jaden Reed. I like Gus Edwards. All right, and Tua. Bengals.
It was week 1. Drake London put up one catch or 2 catches. Brandon looked like shit. Evan Ingram got 1 catch. I had Terry McLaurin in instead of Jaden Reed, which I made that switch, even though Jordan Love's out, but Terry only got 2 catches. It was just a rough week for me.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man. That first week of football, it just never makes sense. Absolutely. And last, old Queef Stroganoff, Cody, he got an old D-. He's another savvy fantasy football guy too, so. Justin Jefferson in round 1, Devon Achane. I like these first 2 picks. Nico Collins, Neighbors. I mean, it's not that I'm down on Neighbors. It's just, it's the same thing as like with Deshaun Watson is who the hell's throwing on the ball,
Yeah, Danny Dimes is not going to be the one. So
nope. And let's talk Dalton Kincaid at tight end.
Actually, I really like that, to be honest with you. Kyler Murray, Justin Jefferson, Nico Collins, that stack right there was great. Chase
Kyler,
Brown.
Kyler's always a fantasy guy, good fantasy, puts up good numbers on fantasy. So, I look at this team, honestly, I mean, I would not grade this a D. I don't disagree, or I disagree with this grading from Yahoo. All right, Nick.
We actually missed somebody on my league, actually, Kevin.
Oh, yes, we did. Let's go back to his team. Yes,
last place. Kevin. Worst draft grade. I think he won. No, he lost last week too. Joe Burrow looks awful. He was like straining his hand all game too. If you watched him just the entire time, Saberworthy got those touchdowns. Jordan Mason's going to help him out quite a bit. Not sure if he started Jordan Mason last week or not. I don't know. Actually, I can probably check.
Yeah.
No, he didn't. Yeah, Jordan Mason on the bench. So, he's changed up his team quite a bit from week 1 to week 2. So we'll see what happens. I mean, he's got a decent team. It's not awful. His wide receivers are weak with Malik Neighbors and Michael Pittman. Yeah. You don't really have any stud there, but we'll see what happens.
Yeah, you never know, man. That's fantasy. All right. Let's get into a little week 1 recap real quick.
Sure.
Coming straight out of the bat, it looks like, it's the first week, so, you try not to overreact too much, but, we're all emotional guys, Nick, so, it is what it is.
Well, you gotta call your shot, right? So, there's some picks that are not going to be, everyone kind of like judges you on a pick or something like that, but you got to call your shots eventually. You're not going to win just going off of chalk, So
yeah. Well, in your league, Garrett's team is, he put up the most points this league.
160 points.
163. Points. So, dang. I mean, he's starting off hot. He did blow his load on his waiver wire budget. Yet he only spent $1. So
he didn't really need to do anything in the waivers. I mean, he didn't really have any needs. Nor were the waivers that exciting. I mean, if you looked at our waiver wire, the only like really exciting person on there, maybe Tank Bigsby, maybe just a couple defenses. Alan Lazard was there, but like I'm not excited about any of those players, to be honest with you. Long term, I mean, granted, I guess you have Alan Lazard getting thrown the ball to Aaron Rodgers or from Aaron Rodgers. So I guess you could be sort of excited about that, but really, I mean, if you're looking at waiver wire, let's see how much people spend. I mean, I think our boy, let's see here, transactions. Let me look at all these.
Yeah.
There's some big money spent. Let's see here. So, Demarcus Robinson went for $50 to.
Yeah.
Now, I'm not mad about that because with losing Puka, their needs receiver too. So I probably overpaid.
No, I mean, I guess I can't crush it, that much. I mean, it's just $50 in week one. When I was just kind of scrolling through it, I was like, holy moly!
I mean, if you look at last year, Puka Nacua was a week one waiver wire pickup, and he won you leagues, right? So
absolutely.
That's why Brian won last year, right? He picked up Puka and got the win out of that. So it might be something to it. We'll see. Could be all of a sudden Cooper Kupp goes down and then DeMarcus Robinson's the wide receiver one. But, we'll see. Who knows?
Yeah, man, you never know. All right, and briefly on mine, let's see. Gio's team leading the pack in first place with 106 points. I look at this and, again, it's only, it's still only week one, a lot of one, I'm 1-0. Though I think that was actually the only league I won this week. So I went 1-2 on the week.
Mm-hmm.
Got stupid me. In Cody's league, I started CMC, and of course I could not, pick up his handcuff the day of or whatever. So that's guess I get I'm just gonna go ahead and crown myself the fantasy dumbass manager of the week, Nick.
Well, it's kind of hard, man. I mean, San Francisco's going to get fined for what they did. They knew exactly that he wasn't going to play, on Friday when Jordan Mason kind of accidentally leaked that. So, is that your fault? Probably not. Should you have had somebody maybe from that?
Yeah, I should have, but I'm the fan. I'm just gonna crown myself the dumbass of the week for that. I took a big fat donut on that one. All right. Let's see. Let's kind of look at some of these bench spots on each one. Yeah, let's see what we got here. Let's peruse these.
Well, biggest one I think would be in my league would have been Kevin on the bench with having Jordan Mason on the bench. I don't think you even had a chance to put him in because I think his entire team had already played at that point in time. So you really didn't have a chance to actually put him in.
Yeah.
He's sitting with, Jordan Mason on the bench and Xavier Worthy on the bench. So that's 42 points sitting there not doing you any good.
That does hurt. I mean, I do agree with you on that. Honestly, that is kind of that's a tough pill to swallow when you see that many points sitting on your
for sure, man. I mean, I lost week one in your league with Jaden Reed sitting on the bench with 31 points, so that feels bad.
Oh yeah, dude, 100%.
That would have changed. I still would have lost, but not as bad, to be honest with you.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I mean, it's all relative or whatever at that point. I mean, in my league, quickly just trying to look over here. I know Patrick had probably out of everyone in the league, just solely on injuries wise, I know he got hit the hardest. Just from that point, probably the worst, I would say. On the bench, God, let's take a look at this real quick. Let's see. We got. I don't know. I'm not really seeing anything that's standing out on me on my
one in your league with the
honestly, I wouldn't really. Definitely in your league, I agree with you on yours. So I'm not really seeing one that's standing out to me in my league right at the moment. All right, we touched on waiver wires. Nobody really blew their load full load wad in my league. Obviously, we've been over ATL Cousins spending $75 already, but
I spent some money. I wanted
hey man, you got to spend money to make money, right, Nick?
Yeah,
come on.
I had to pick up Alan Lazard. If he's going to be the wide receiver 2 out there, I'm gonna pick him up. Aaron Rodgers is going to air the ball out, so you might as well have some of the weapons. And if they get better, and they're going to figure it out, they have to, right?
Yeah, honestly, especially like I said, you watching that first drive, that the Jets made that drive, and remember Rodgers had that one throw. I can't remember who he was throwing it to, but he zipped it in there, and they even zoomed up to him, and he kind of smirked. He was like, "Yeah, I still got it, man."
He looked good. I mean, for the most part, he looked good.
Yeah.
I was looking at just week one, and people. If you look at like who was drafted, who not, and I think the biggest like wow moment for me was either Jameson Williams or Baker Mayfield, and probably less of Jameson Williams because he was drafted, but Baker Mayfield not being drafted anywhere. I don't think anyone had them on his team, but putting 30 points up was insane. 4 touchdowns, 300 passing yards. That's nutty.
Yeah, I mean that's Well, I mean that's a good segue into top 5 players per position in both of our leagues, and Baker Mayfield is the number 2 quarterback. Right
and
now,
using his legs. Right, Josh Allen ran like 2 touchdowns. That's Baker Mayfield, just all air yards. I think he ran a little bit, but not too much. Jaden Daniels looked like a stud. I mean, he's figuring it out. Anthony Richardson also up on that leaderboard, but he keeps running into people with his shoulder. He's like checking people like he's a lineman or a linebacker, and he's going to get injured again, which is fucking crazy. Lamar looked, Lamar-like.
Yeah, basically, man. And and running back, top 5 running backs. I mean, no. I guess the only surprise, obviously, is Jordan Mason. But I mean, I guess it's not. It's not really. I mean,
really
you knew that he was gonna
offense.
Exactly. I mean, just because
CMC, back like last year, Elijah Mitchell had games where he scored 30 points. Like that offense is just set up for those running backs to really make a lot.
100%, man, 100%. I mean, and in wide receivers, we got Jaden Reed, Cooper Kupp, Alan Lazard, Tyreek, and Jameson Williams.
Yep. And what's funny is I would expect Jaden Reed to continue that trend if Jordan Love was injured. They're still going to manufacture touches for him. If you saw in the play column, they're figuring out run plays and they're figuring out short little dump off. So I think Jaden Reed's probably pretty safe, but I don't think he's going to have the same results as last week by any means.
Probably not. I mean, and tight ends, top 5. I mean, the one that stood out to me obviously is Isaiah Likely. I mean, he was just getting everything.
He would have had another touchdown too if it wasn't for his size 17 feet. So
true story. And we got Brock Bowers, Kyle Pitts, Juwan Johnson, and Foster Moreau. I think I'm saying that correctly.
Foster Moreau.
Yeah.
Brock Bowers, I will say Brock Bowers looked phenomenal too, man. They can't stop him. He doesn't match up well with anybody, and their safeties can't match up, their linebackers can't match up, and Brock is just going to feast. So we'll see what happens.
Yeah, absolutely, man. And defenses. I mean, I guess the top 5 defenses. I guess Chicago, Pittsburgh being in there.
I wish Dallas didn't make that list. I thought they did.
I thought they would as I was looking at, in both of our leagues. Yeah, I mean, I was kind of surprised they weren't in that top 5.
Yeah. Defense, what was it 3 years ago when the Patriots were winning you games, scoring 30 points? I think there's teams like that are going to do stuff like that, like TJ Watt for the Steelers. You've got Mika Parsons from Dallas. That's going to do the same thing. They're going to win you weeks. It's going to be pretty insane. So, we'll see what happens. I don't expect a defense to do the same thing that the Patriots did 3 years ago or 2 years ago, whatever it was. But it's still an important pickup. And luckily, in both of our leagues, I don't think we have to worry about kickers, right? In either one of our leagues.
No kickers. The only league I am in this year is Cody's league. He has kickers.
Okay.
And I've been trying to get him to get
Cody's
rid of
kickers.
Yeah, I don't understand it. It's like I don't. It's honestly. sometimes when I set a lineup in his league, sometimes I forget just because I've been in my league and your league and other leagues I've done in the past. Have not had a kicker in a league in so long that it's just not even on my radar. So Cody, if you're listening to this podcast, get rid of your goddamn kickers.
There you go. He's gonna be like, nah, man. They score points. They score
points. I'm a purist, man. I'm a purist.
Yeah. And I think we're gonna finish up looking at injury report. Of course, Jordan Love's gonna be out. Josh Allen, we'll see if he's he'll play. He's always played.
I wouldn't
He's out for 3 weeks. CMC is gonna be out. Njoku's out. I think Mostert just got announced that he's gonna be out. Ferguson might be out. He might be in. I don't know. So. You want to talk about week 2 matchups?
Yeah. Let's get into little week 2 matchups. Let's start with your league first. Me and Patrick, we need a win. We need a get right win. We're playing we're playing Evolution, and these never mean anything. But without doing anything, we're predicted to win by about 2 points. Not that it means anything. I mean,
small margin.
Make a little little false confidence. I mean, when I look at this roster, I mean, I like my quarterback. I'm hoping St. Brown, bounces back this week.
Sure. They'll figure that out.
Yeah, I would imagine he would. I mean, God.
Looking at this, everyone's pretty evenly matched up. I think last year in my league, between the top 7 teams, we were all very similar in points. And I think that's, with the draft that we did, and especially being a live draft, I think we're going to see the same thing. I don't see any team other than Garrick's of being just a juggernaut. In my opinion, because of the Saquon and Joe Mixon, if they can continue to keep up that efficiency, he's going to have a rough team to go against.
Well, and the only concern, not that I don't think Saquon can, keep it up, is just for his entire career, is just whether he could stay healthy.
Sure. Yeah.
And that's, as much as I hate it, him leaving the Giants and going down, 95 to dirty Philly. I mean, he wanted McCaffrey money, and he's not Christian McCaffrey, and he's always injured. So,
Well, guess, the difference is that Saquon played week 1.
Yeah, he did.
There you go.
He did. He did. Yeah, you got me there, my man.
If they keep running him the way they're running him, it will, he's going to run out of gas eventually. But I mean, it's going to be good for a while. So
yeah.
But other than that, man, everyone's pretty even in my league. I'm not predicting any upsets or anything like that. I mean, everyone looks pretty close, and we'll just see. It's going to shake out. More injuries are going to come, so we'll see.
Yeah, I mean, hey, the injuries are never going to stop, man. I mean, knock on wood for me. I haven't had anything, but I mean, I guess I just feel like I'm kind of due, so maybe it's going to happen. I feel like I always get some kind of just week where it just all goes to hell for me. Yes. Yeah, exactly. All right. Briefly in my league, let's see. Let's analyze. Let's look at your matchup this week in my league. You've got Get Rich, Die Trying. You're playing. Let's see what we got here. Old Tua versus Anthony Richardson. That could be fairly. I mean, I would give the edge to Richardson, I guess.
For sure, with the legs.
Yeah.
Give the Tyreek Hill the win.
Yeah, there. I think Tyreek's got the edge on
Ayuk, and I think Debo takes that all day.
Yeah, I definitely do.
I think I give Gibbs over
Gibbs and Etienne.
I'll take Gibbs, and then
I'll take Gibbs. I like Williams over Swift. Let's see, we got Ferguson versus. I'll give it. Ingram, I guess. I'll give the edge to Ingram in that. Let's see, Jordan Reed. I'm gonna go, yeah, Jordan Reed over Cooper. If Cooper plays anything like his first week, which I kind of hope he doesn't, because I have him in another league. But yeah, and you got Alan Lazard on the bench.
It's going to be a last minute decision whether I play Alan Lazard instead of Drake London. But I think we're going to have a get right game. I know we're going into Philly at Philly, but we got to manufacture some better plays to get our stars involved. And I think Drake London's one of those people that are going to get involved. And I might roll the dice and see what happens. I mean, anything's better than 2 catches. So
yeah,
we'll see what
absolutely.
happens.
And just because he's our buddy, Giovanni, and he's in first place in my league, let's just rip his team apart right now, Nick. Just off of the projected winner, I love Big TDs is marginally favored to win by less than a point.
Chris and Rob have a solid team, so I know that Gio's definitely in first place by a little bit, but
yeah.
You're going against a great stack of Jalen Hurts and Antonio or AJ Brown, which that could win you a week, man. They go deep on 2 plays, and that's huge. If Montgomery plays the way he has, if Kyle Pitts can continue that touchdown, and then you got Jordan Mason that's going to continue to get fed the rock. It's all good stuff.
Yeah.
Rashee Rice, he's a target monster. Stevenson looks so good. Rashad White, I don't know, Bucky Irvin's eating into a lot of his passing yardage and stuff like that he used to get, so I'm a little concerned there. I have him in my league as well.
When I look at Gio's roster just immediately, if I was him, my biggest concern would just be Josh Allen, even though I know it's his non-throwing hand. It would be in the back of my mind if I was Girth Brooks.
Fair. Well, luckily he can run it on the ground and not have to throw anything. So
yeah, exactly. All right, man. Well, I feel like that's a good place to wrap up for us. I feel like we didn't go too hard on anybody this night. Still getting our bearings, right. But I feel like as the season goes, we'll have a little bit more fun with this. Yeah. Yeah, man, I have fun doing this. I'm looking forward to doing this every week and ripping on everybody's team, man.
It's gonna be good, man. It's gonna be good. Good luck to everybody. It's gonna be a good week, and we'll see you next week.
Yeah. Good luck, everybody, and we will talk to you guys next week.